For thousands of years, the Sumerians have been shrouded in mystery and their legacy buried beneath the sands of time. Now, they weren't just the world's first known civilization. They were pioneers, inventors, and keepers of knowledge so profound that even modern scholars struggle to explain it. But what if we told you there are secrets that many believe have been deliberately suppressed? From strange celestial ties to advanced technologies that seem impossibly ahead of their time, these ancient people may have known things we are only beginning to understand. Some of their records speak of gods descending from the sky, while others hint at knowledge that defies what we've been taught about human history. And here's the $64 question. Why do some experts hesitate to talk about it? What were they hiding? What did they know that we weren't supposed to? Well, today, we're breaking through the cover-ups and diving into 15 dark secrets of the Sumerians that scientists fear. This is history like you've never heard it before. Number 15. Sumerian deities. The Sumerians had one of the most complex and detailed pantheons in history. But were their gods truly just mythological figures, or something far more real? Some theorists suggest that the Anunnaki and other deities weren't simply the product of imagination, but were either actual advanced beings or representations of cosmic or natural forces that early humans could barely comprehend. Ancient texts describe these gods as possessing immense power, advanced knowledge, and even the ability to traverse the heavens. Could these figures have been literal rulers, leaders who possessed scientific and technological capabilities far ahead of their time? Or were they symbolic representations of forces like electromagnetism, planetary movements, or interdimensional consciousness? Traditional scholars claim these were just allegories for natural phenomena. But if that's the case, why do so many ancient civilizations across the world share eerily similar myths of powerful sky gods descending to shape humanity? Well, who knows? Number 14. The ancient cosmic order. What if Sumerian mythology isn't just a collection of stories, but a coded record of an ancient cosmic order? Some researchers believe that the intricate symbolism in their myths contains deep astronomical knowledge, possibly inherited from an earlier civilization or alien sources. The Sumerians had a shockingly precise understanding of planetary movements, celestial cycles, and cosmic wonder that we typically associate with much later scientific advancements. Some even claim that their myths describe the existence of a hidden planet, sometimes referred to as Nibiru, which plays a role in Earth's periodic cataclysms. While mainstream science dismisses these ideas as pure speculation, the possibility that ancient Sumerians tapped into a forgotten cosmic order, one that could reveal secrets about the universe itself, raises profound questions. Did they know something we don't? And if so, why has this knowledge been buried under millennia of silence? Number 13. A blueprint for a lost civilization. The Sumerians didn't just build cities, they may have designed the perfect civilization. Some theorists argue that hidden within their ruins, tablets, and governance structures lies a blueprint for an ideal society, one that, if followed, could have prevented many of the crises we face today. Their advanced urban planning, fair legal codes, and innovative infrastructure suggest that they weren't just early experimenters, but master architects of a sustainable civilization. But here's where things get interesting. Some believe that their knowledge was deliberately buried by later empires, ensuring that only select elites could benefit from their discoveries. What if within Sumerian texts exists a lost guidebook to governance, economics, and technology, one that could revolutionize modern society? The idea remains speculative, but the possibility that an ancient civilization cracked the code on sustainable progress and that this knowledge was later suppressed is enough to make anyone question what else we've lost along the way. Number 12. The Anunnaki. The Sumerians weren't just ahead of their time, they were light years ahead. And some believe that's not just a figure of speech. Enter the Anunnaki, a race of godlike beings described in ancient Sumerian texts. Mainstream scholars call them mere mythology, but fringe theorists argue that these so-called deities were something else entirely. Extraterrestrial visitors who didn't just watch over humanity, but engineered us. According to this theory, the Anunnaki descended from the heavens, gifted the Sumerians with advanced knowledge, and may have even altered human DNA to accelerate civilization. Some even claim that their technological wisdom, from intricate city planning to possible energy manipulation, was far beyond what should have been possible at the time. Of course, academia scoffs at the idea, attributing these stories to myth and religious allegory. But the real question remains: why were the Sumerians obsessed with the idea of sky gods imparting wisdom? What if the line between legend and reality isn't as clear as we think? Number 11. Forbidden wisdom. Ancient Sumerians weren't just scribbling grocery lists on clay tablets. Some believe they were encoding something far more important: forbidden knowledge that, if fully deciphered, could upend everything we know about human history. Their cuneiform texts, some of the oldest written records in existence, contain strange references to cosmic cycles, divine teachings, and even what some call a lost language of power. Theorists speculate that within these inscriptions lie encrypted messages, warnings, advanced sciences, or even the key to unlocking long-lost technologies. Mainstream scholars dismiss these claims, arguing that most tablets simply record trade, laws, and religious rituals. But here's the catch. Why do some translations remain contested? Why do certain texts seem deliberately obscure? Could it be that within their meticulous documentation, the Sumerians hid secrets only meant for those who knew how to read between the lines? Number 10. Erased histories. History is written by the victors, but what happens when it's also erased by them? A growing theory suggests that crucial parts of Sumerian history, particularly those regarding humanity's true origins, were systematically destroyed or hidden by later civilizations. According to this theory, the loss of priceless Sumerian tablets, temples, and records wasn't just an unfortunate accident of time. It was intentional. Why? Because within those records might have been truths too dangerous to remain in public knowledge. Were they hiding evidence of a more advanced pre-Sumerian civilization, proof of alien influence, or something even more radical, like a lost history of human capabilities that were later suppressed? While skeptics argue that time, war, and natural disasters are to blame for these missing records, the pattern of deliberate destruction in history is undeniable. What's left behind is a puzzle with missing pieces. Pieces that, if found, could rewrite everything we think we know about human civilization. Number 9. Secret bloodlines and divine heritage. What if the Sumerian gods weren't just mythological figures, but real entities that left something behind? Some believe that ancient rulers, priests, and even modern elites may carry a genetic link to the so-called Anunnaki, one that's been quietly influencing history ever since. This theory suggests that the divine kingship the Sumerians wrote about wasn't just a metaphor, it was literal inheritance. Some researchers claim that ruling dynasties throughout history, from Babylonian kings to European nobility, have preserved traces of this celestial lineage, keeping their influence intact through carefully controlled bloodlines. Of course, conventional historians dismiss this idea, labeling it as pseudoscience. But here's the unsettling part. Why were the Sumerians so insistent that kingship was something bestowed from the heavens? And why do echoes of these divine bloodline myths persist across civilizations worldwide? Could it be that history has been guided not just by power and ambition, but by something far older and far more mysterious? Number 8. a lost energy source. Sumerians also mastered something far more groundbreaking, an energy source that modern science still can't fully grasp. Some researchers suggest that the Sumerians had knowledge of an advanced power source, possibly linked to zero-point energy, cosmic forces, or even geoelectricity, something that allowed them to build, innovate, and thrive at an unprecedented pace. The evidence? Their extraordinary advancements in astronomy, mathematics, and architecture hint at a level of precision and technological insight that seems far beyond their time. Some even believe their temples or ziggurats weren't just places of worship, but potential energy hubs designed to harness and distribute a mysterious force. Mainstream historians insist there's no concrete proof, chalking it up to creative speculation. But here's the real mystery. Why does it seem like so many pieces of ancient knowledge have been lost, hidden, or outright erased? Could the Sumerians have uncovered an energy secret that powerful elites later buried? Number 7. Suppressed advanced technology. What if ancient Sumerian tech wasn't just good, but outright futuristic? Some believe these early innovators possessed knowledge that rivaled or even surpassed modern advancements. The problem? That knowledge may have been deliberately buried by later civilizations, eager to control history's narrative. Sumerians pioneered everything from complex irrigation systems to metallurgy, but some researchers suggest they went even further, developing energy sources, medical techniques, or even machines that would seem out of place even today. The famous Baghdad battery, often linked to Mesopotamian ingenuity, hints at the possibility of ancient electrical experiments. But here's the twist. If such knowledge existed, why don't we see more evidence of it? Some say these advancements were destroyed, hidden, or suppressed by empires that followed, ensuring their own dominance. Others argue that the Sumerians may have possessed knowledge that wasn't entirely their own, but borrowed from an even more mysterious source. Number 6. Cosmic cycles and cataclysmic prophecies. The Sumerians didn't just predict the future, they might have mapped it out. Many of their myths speak of cycles of destruction and rebirth, eerily resembling modern theories about global cataclysms. But were these just metaphorical stories? Or did they tap into something deeper? A cosmic pattern that even today, we barely understand. Some researchers believe that Sumerian records, particularly the Eridu Genesis and the Enuma Elish, contain references to celestial events and disasters that may have real historical counterparts. Could these texts be warnings of an inevitable reset button on human civilization? While mainstream archaeologists classify these tales as allegory, the idea of a repeating cycle of collapse, driven by astronomical forces, cosmic alignments, or even unseen celestial bodies, is enough to make anyone question just how much of the Sumerian legacy was storytelling and how much was a coded warning for the future. Number 5. The Lost City of Arata. Sumerian texts repeatedly mention a place called Arata, a legendary city said to be filled with unimaginable wealth, gold, silver, and lapis lazuli. But here's the catch. Archaeologists have never found it. Some believe Arata was a real civilization, possibly hidden deep in the Iranian plateau or beneath layers of history we've yet to uncover. Others think it's pure mythology, a symbol of unattainable prosperity. The strange part? The Sumerians described Arata as a rival civilization, one so advanced that they traded complex goods and even religious practices with it. If true, this means another highly sophisticated society existed alongside Sumer, but vanished without a trace. Could Arata have been wiped out by a catastrophe? Or is it hiding in plain sight? Until we find solid proof, Arata remains one of Sumer's most intriguing mysteries. Number 4. The Sumerian underworld. Forget heaven and hell. Sumerians had something much darker in mind, According to ancient texts, the dead didn't ascend to paradise or face fiery torment. Instead, everyone ended up in Kur, the shadowy underworld where souls wandered aimlessly, feeding on dust and scraps. There was no reward for good behavior, no punishment for the wicked, just an eternal, joyless existence. Even gods feared the underworld. Ereshkigal, its ruler, was feared even by other deities, and tales of mortals trying to return to the living always ended in disaster. The bleakness of Kur raises a big question. Why did the Sumerians, despite their incredible advancements, view the afterlife with such hopelessness? Did they have some lost knowledge about what happens after death? If so, we may never truly understand what they truly feared. Number 3. The Curse of Agade. One of the most chilling stories in Sumerian history is the Curse of Agade, a tale of divine punishment and the fall of an empire. It tells of Naram-Sin, the grandson of Sargon of Akkad, who angered the gods by attacking the sacred temple of Enlil. In response, the gods abandoned Akkad, unleashing a brutal famine, civil unrest, and a total collapse of the once mighty empire. Was this just a religious tale, or was it based on real events? Some historians believe it was propaganda, written to explain why Akkad mysteriously fell after reaching its peak. But others think there might be truth buried in the legend. Did Akkad's fall come from a natural disaster? A secret war? Or did the Sumerians really believe that angering the gods could bring down entire civilizations? Either way, the lesson was clear. Never challenge the divine. Number 2. The Sumerian demons. If you thought demons were just a later invention, think again. The Sumerians had an entire roster of terrifying entities that haunted people in their daily lives. These weren't just spirits. They were malicious beings that could bring disease, madness, and even death. One of the worst was Alu, a faceless shadow demon that sat on a victim's chest at night, causing sleep paralysis, a nightmare we still recognize today. Then there were the Udug, unpredictable spirits who could either help or destroy, depending on their mood. The Sumerians relied on rituals and protective charms to keep these creatures at bay. But even the most devout lived in fear of being cursed or possessed. So, were these beings just superstition? Or did the Sumerians experience something real, something they couldn't explain, but that left a lasting mark on history? Number 1. The mysterious disappearance of the Sumerians. For all their advancements, the Sumerians disappeared, leaving behind little more than ruins and unanswered questions. Historians offer several explanations: wars, climate change, invasions, but none fully explain how such a powerful society crumbled so quickly. One theory suggests that the Sumerians overexploited their environment, leading to the salinization of their farmlands, food shortages, and mass migrations. Another theory points to outside forces, particularly the Gutians, a mysterious mountain tribe that may have invaded and destabilized Sumerian cities. But some believe there's a missing piece, something history isn't telling us. Could they have been wiped out by an unknown catastrophe, assimilated into later cultures so completely that their identity vanished? Or, most strangely, did they leave something behind that certain groups didn't want future generations to discover? Whatever the answer, the fall of Sumer remains one of history's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.